Geico presents sharing versus oversharing. Yesterday, Cliff Sora shared a top 10 list of hot fusion restaurants, a vegan gluten-free mashup recipe, and a podcast featuring organic food trends. Oh, TMI? Too much internet information. That's oversharing. Cliff, Geico has something worth sharing with your friends. Like how on Geico.com you could save hundreds on your car insurance, update your policy, and report a claim. Gluten-free info that's easy to swallow. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Blog Talk Radio.
Why are you here?
To get some money.
What kind of money?
Obama money.
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida.
Where's it coming from?
Obama.
Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy.
Where did Obama get it?
I don't know. It's fast. I don't know.
You can follow Brian on Twitter and Facebook and listen to archived shows at briancraigshow.com.
I don't know where he got it from, but he giving it to us to help us. We love him. That's why we voted for him.
And now, Brian Craig.
All right, and welcome to another edition of the Brian Craig Show podcast. My name is Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Welcome to the program, everyone. Kathy, you with us?
I am with you.
Okay, you got to talk a little louder. Okay, you can't whisper.
Okay, it's hard because my voice is so bad.
I know. No, don't worry about that. Just talk up a little bit because I got to get the levels adjusted. I put you on I got a speaker hooked up so people on Periscope can hear you. All right, well, you are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. My name is Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. And not only are we broadcasting the podcast live, we are also streaming live video on Periscope. So you can follow us on Periscope and watch us at Brian Craig Show. And also follow us on Twitter at Brian Craig Show. Welcome, everyone. And if you're new to the program, this is the Brian Craig Show podcast. You can listen to this program all over the place. Our website is briancraigshow.com, and we broadcast on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, and many, many other places. But if you go to iTunes, just search for The Brian Craig Show. And if you go to briancraigshow.com, all the places that air the program are listed right there, okay? And make sure you follow me on Periscope. Periscope Live, the podcast here that I do from home with Kathy, and I'm on the radio Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m., and I Periscope that as well. So welcome to the program, everyone. And Kathy, I just saw this article right before we went on the air, and it's the ratings from the debate. Now, I don't have the comparison numbers to how the Trump event did elsewhere, but we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But the Fox News debate the other night, without Donald Trump, they lost almost half of the audience. In fact, 48% of the audience they lost on the last debate without President Trump, which is amazing if you look at these. And this is according to, by the way, CNN. They had the Fox News debate the other night had 13 million viewers. The Fox News debate back in August had 25 million viewers. Okay, so I mean, so they had half the number of viewers without Donald Trump, which tells you a lot about what you need to know. I think that's wonderful. I think that's great. It sends a message.
Well, I know he did not have as many viewers as them. I do know that.
Only turn the volume up so loud so we don't get feedback. Okay, let me hear you, Kath.
Yeah, can you hear me now? Is that better?
Okay, great. They say they can hear you. That's wonderful. Okay, you're not going to be as loud as me, but people can hear you. Yeah, so, this is great news. Half the audience lost without Donald Trump. And I'll tell you, the winner of the Fox News Republican presidential debate the other night without Donald Trump was Donald Trump. I mean, without even being there, Donald Trump won the debate. And, Ted Cruz, I don't think, a lot of people, I used to like Ted Cruz, but the more people hear Ted Cruz, I think the less likable he is. He looked like a dope during that debate the other night, which I didn't watch, by the way. I've seen the clips and things.
Yeah, I didn't watch the debate.
But no, we didn't want to give Fox News any ratings. But the more you see of Ted Cruz, the more you get to see what he is really like. And he's not a likable guy. He's not. He's really nasty, kind of petty, very arrogant, and he seems to be in love with himself.
Well, Bob Dole was a senator for a long time, and
from Kansas.
I know you met Bob Dole, and he was always a very nice, likable. Everybody liked Bob Dole. He's a very cool guy. He knows everybody, and he even said the guy's a jerk and not to vote for him. And he said nobody likes him. So I think for a senator who has such a long record, who knows everybody, and for him to come out and say that says a lot. That tells you how much he dislikes the guy.
Someone in the Periscope chat someone in the Periscope chat says, "How do you logically comment on something you didn't watch?" Talking about the Fox News debate. Exactly. I didn't watch the Fox News debate when it was on because I didn't want to give Fox News Channel any ratings, okay? But the next morning, which was Friday morning, when I was doing my show prep for the radio, I watched it online, okay? So I just didn't watch it I didn't watch it live on Fox. I watched it on secondary sites that had the debate because I didn't want Fox to I wanted Fox to feel the pain of dissing us. I wanted them to feel the pain of not having Donald Trump. That's why. So I did watch it just the next morning, okay, early on. So that's that. And, I want to say, though, before we get into some of this stuff, I'm continually, all the news is in Iowa. And I tell you, I'm so tired of Iowa and all this power. Now, I think Donald going to win Iowa. I think it's going to be a landslide. Ted Cruz, who knows? Ted Cruz might come to place. He may not even come in second. Who knows? But I'm just that Iowa has so much say in president is just a lot of balance. I think for Iowa. I don't know anybody from Iowa. I've never known anyone from Iowa that I can think of. Kathy, have you?
I had a teacher from Iowa in high school, Mr. Woods.
You had a school teacher?
That's it.
Yeah. It's just so. No disrespect to Iowa, but they're a bunch of
it's the
farmers.
first place it sets the tone. It's a big deal. They do this every 4 years.
Much.
They go to Iowa. They stay. They camp out. They go to local restaurants. It's great publicity for the Iowans.
Sure.
That's for sure. They're lucky.
Yeah. But they should have all these early debate states. Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina. They should have all of them on the same day. It's just too much. I watched this Trump event the other night.
I agree with that.
And I saw the audience, and they look like a bunch of hick rednecks. You know what I mean? Because it's farm place. They look like a bunch of hick rednecks. Nothing wrong with being a hick. Nothing wrong with being a redneck. But why are these hick rednecks the ones that are going to be the deciders of who the president is going to be? What do they have in common with the rest of the country? We're in Florida. They have nothing in common with us. It's just –
but if the primary was here, they would say the same thing about you or me. What do they have in common with us?
Yeah. Well, then I'm watching Chuck Todd, who I can't stand, by the way. Chuck Todd, Chuck Todd on NBC. The reason Chuck Todd has a goatee is because if you see him without a goatee, he looks like a bird. His face, he's got one of those bird-shaped face, so he figures the goatee gives him a chin, but it doesn't. He still looks like a bird with a goatee. But Chuck Todd is talking to this NBC reporter, and they're both in Iowa. And the reporter he's talking to said that they were talking to a voter in Iowa who was undecided between Hillary Clinton and Trump. Can you imagine?
Wow.
The arrogance of these people in Iowa. You know what I mean? They're so arrogant. Well, I don't know if I'm going to vote. How could you be between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump? That's they're on opposite ends of the.
That's
one's
a little odd.
That's
a little strange.
It's bizarre. And these Iowan voters are just so arrogant. Like they have this, this power. They're like dictators. It's like they have all this power. And it's just I don't like it. They should have all these. They should have like 10 or 15 of these primaries on the same day.
I have to say, I'm looking in the chat. It's so funny. People are accusing you of being mean and critical, but then they'll criticize you and call you names. They're doing exactly what they're accusing you of doing. It's hilarious. They're hypocrites. It's hilarious.
Well, yeah, I see that. I see that going. I'm watching the chat. I just haven't been commenting on it quite yet. And I'll tell you, you liberals in the chat, I've got news for you. Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States, and they might as well just give him the keys to the White House and the nuclear football right now, so he can just get to work early. I mean, come on. He is so incredibly popular. He's the perfect man for the job. He is not a racist. He does not hate immigrants. He's been married 3 times, and 2 of his wives, including our next first lady, are immigrants.
Right.
So there you have it. Give me a break. Oh, I saw today in the news that Imam Obama is going to, for the very first time, visit an American mosque. He's going to visit a mosque here in the United States. What the hell is the President of the United States doing going to a mosque and making a big to-do about it? What's that about?
Well, I doubt it's his first time going to one, first of all. Just the first one we know about, that's all.
No, it's the first time as president he's gone to a mosque in the United States.
You cannot tell me. As president. Okay, maybe.
Yeah, as president. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he has his own little carpets in the White House in private that he, faces Mecca 5 times a day on. But yeah, I mean, what's that all about? You know what? I'll tell you what it's about, really, frankly. The reason he's going to a mosque in the United States, it's about Donald Trump, because Donald Trump wants to limit Muslim immigration into the country.
Right.
That's what that's about.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll be so glad when I'll be so glad when Obama leaves the White House. I mean, it's going to be a great day. It really is. I
can't
think that'll be a win.
I can't wait.
Oh yeah, it'll be like the night that the last episode of MASH aired on television back in I guess it was '83.
I think a lot of people are going to be happy.
Oh yeah, they had these parties.
You need to block this person, CN co-fans.
Well, don't. All right. Well, you can't tell me on the air because you got to send me a message to do that. When the last episode of MASH aired in 1983, it was a big deal, and they had all over the country. It was on at night. They had these MASH bashes. People celebrate having parties, MASH bashes, and I imagine when Obama is leaving office, I see all of these bye-bye Obama bashes taking place all over the country. People actually celebrating. It's a funny thing, when George Bush, G.W. Bush, was president, and liberals would get so upset at George Bush all the time, I would always tell them, I say, he's only going to be president for 4 years, maybe 8 years. What's the big deal? You got to suck it up for 4 years or 8 years. You'll get a new president after that. And then boom, we've got Obama, and I can really see how much damage a president can do in 4 years or 8 years.
Yeah.
And he can't leave soon enough. I mean, this today is today the 31st or is tomorrow the 31st?
Today's the 30th.
Today's the 30th. Tomorrow is the last day to buy health insurance. Can you imagine, in this free country that we live in, the United States, the formerly free United States, you can only buy health insurance when Obama tells you can. And
right.
you have this couple of month window to buy health insurance, and unless you're having a baby or have some major life event, you can't buy insurance for the rest of the year.
Why do they have it set up like that? Like, why not allow it all year round? They'd make more money. I don't understand.
Because Obama doesn't know what he's doing, but Obama limited our freedom. So tomorrow is the last day to buy health insurance until next year. Why? Because Obama said this is when you'll buy health insurance.
That makes no sense. I guess they want to get a lot of fees from people and fines.
I think Obama's just a jerk, and he just likes the power of saying you've got to do something. So today I went and checked what health insurance would cost for me. And the monthly premium didn't sound all that bad. $257 a month. But that was the cheapest plan, by the way, with the fewest benefits. Okay, 200. Some of them were $400 a month. Some of them were $300 a month. But so I looked up there. It was $257 a month, which doesn't sound that bad. I mean, that sounds reasonable. I'm 44 years old. I don't smoke. I don't drink. But still, $257 a month. That sounds like a pretty good deal until you look at the deductible. This is the Obamacare deductible. $6,800 deductible. That's $7,000.
That's ridiculous.
So, yeah, and for you liberals out there, let me explain to you how this works. I pay $257 a month every month, and I have a deductible of $6,800, $7,000. That means before my insurance would pay a single penny for anything, I would have to pay out of pocket $6,800. So that's not if I've got to pay $7,000 before the insurance pays one penny, that's not insurance. And that's not the way it used to be. Before Obama came in, my insurance premiums about that price, $250, $300, depending on what policy. And I didn't have a deductible like that. In fact, I really had zero deductible unless there was hospitalization. So, I'm not going to buy insurance. How can I go out and buy insurance that's not – I cannot afford to pay almost $260 a month and then have a $7,000 deductible. I mean, that's not insurance. That is not insurance. That means if I go to the doctor or I get sick and and get some medicine or something like that, I've got to pay for it out of my pocket. So what's the point? And this is what Obama's done. And I'm not the only one. And I got really pissed off today, Kathy. I went to a mall here in South Florida, Boynton Beach Mall, which is kind of in a lower kind of in a someone said, can't you get better insurance? That's what it is. That, the Obamacare, the way they've handled the insurance, it is what it is. You can't get a deal better than the best deal, $257 a month with a $6,800 deductible. That's the best deal. Some of them I could get for about $400 a month and have a little over $5,000 deductible. That's not insurance either. I mean, that's Obamacare. That's what Obama's done. So, I go up to the Boynton Beach Mall today, Kathy, which is kind of a low-income kind of area, and they had 3 locations where people had tables out in the mall signing people up for Obamacare. And what did the sign say? Free insurance. On all 3 of the tables, free insurance, which means the people that don't work or don't work that much or don't make a lot of money, they get free insurance. But me, I got to get a $7,000 deductible. Why? Because I work, and I got to pay for their insurance. It's disgusting.
Because this is how the Democrats buy votes. This is what they do.
Yeah.
They make us pay for everything, and because they did the poor people money, they would never vote for them, and they would never stay in power. They're buying their votes.
That's right. Yeah, and all of these problems going on with insurance it's really not the fault of the insurance company. It's the fault of the government, Imam Obama, passing this disgusting Obamacare law, and because these poor people that for the poor people to get free insurance, those of us who work have to pay more.
That's right. So, our daughter's insurance doubled.
Our daughter's insurance premium went up 100% in January. That means we're paying for some other kid's insurance for somebody that doesn't work. And the reason that my insurance policy has a $6,800 deductible is so that I don't use it, so that the money I'm paying into Obamacare every month goes to pay for the people that are getting the free insurance that I saw signing up at the Boynton Beach Mall today in the Ghetto. It's really disgusting, and this is what Obama has done, And Donald Trump, man, I tell you, Donald Trump, when he becomes president, he's got a lot of screw-ups to fix. And I don't know how, the entire insurance industry in this country has been destroyed by Obama. So I don't know, I leave it up to Donald Trump to figure it out. He's the $10 billion guy. He knows how to get things done. But I don't know how he's going to fix it. Not quickly. I don't know how it can be fixed. And all these people that are getting free insurance Wait until they find out they're going to have to start paying for something. They're going to have a fit. And the Democrats, of course, will exploit that. It's disgusting. Anything the government gets involved in is screwed up. Even the military. Why do we have 4 branches of the military and not one? You know what I mean? Why do we got to have 4 branches instead of nothing the government does is efficient. Anything they get involved in, they will screw up. That's just the way it is. And for a $7,000 insurance deductible, that's not insurance. Like for example, most of us that have auto insurance, your deductible on your auto insurance usually is about $500. I think ours is $500. Sometimes it'll be $1,000. If you get into a car accident and I got to get, the car repaired and I got to come up with $500, that's reasonable. But if our auto insurance was $6,800 in a deductible, I mean, why would we even have auto insurance? I might as well go out and buy a new car every time I get a car accident than do that. So what Obama has done with health insurance is turned insurance into something else. It's not insurance anymore. It's a government wealth redistribution from the haves to the sitting on my ass watching Jerry Springer all day people is basically what it's become. Well, listen, we're going to take our first break, and when we get back, there's more to share, all right? You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. My name is Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We do take calls. If you're watching on Periscope, I put the number there in the description of the show, but I'll give it to you right now. You can give us a call live on the air. Our number is 347-945-5112. 347-945-5112. All right, we'll be right back after this.
Business owners, would you like to reduce your cost and increase your company's income? Of course you would, and you can, with the help of the expert team at Global Impetus. Global Impetus has over 2 decades experience helping companies like yours improve performance, expand into new markets, even internationally. Companies who have called upon the expertise of Global Impetus have increased profits by as much as 60%. Global Impetus works with companies of any size and anywhere. They work in all areas of business development. They can create a business plan for you, help with marketing and sales, establish a corporate brand, and so much more. Take your business to the next level with Global Impetus. For a free one-time consultation, call 602-324-7471. 602-324-7471. And online, globalimpetus.com. Global Impetus, expert business guidance for your success. Trip Trekkie is your one-stop solution for travel. With Trip Trekkie online services, you can easily find the best price and availability from all the travel websites all at once. You will have access to over 2 million hotel deals from hundreds of travel sites, over 220 countries, 24 languages, and 120 currencies, including rental cars and airlines. This whole service is 100% free. That's right, free. You can get started now and book your perfect trip. Check it out at TripTrekkie.com. TripTrekkie. TripTrekkie.com. If you have hearing problems, you know how precious hearing is. Wouldn't it be great to hear everything people are saying to you? If you could hear music again and not have to turn the television up louder than it needs to be. Having the right equipment makes all the difference. The Savings Mart is your one-stop shop for hearing amplifiers. The Savings Mart carry the quality brands Medka and New Ear amplifiers for seriously discounted prices. Just go to Google and search for The Savings Mart. That's all one word. The Savings Mart.
Why are you here?
To get some money.
What kind of money?
Obama money.
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida.
Where's it coming from?
Obama.
Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy.
Where did Obama get it?
I don't know. It's fast. I don't know.
You can follow Brian on Twitter and Facebook and listen to archived shows at briancraigshow.com.
I don't know where he got it from, but he giving it to us to help us. We love him. That's why we voted for him.
And now, Brian Craig.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. And by the way, the new listeners to the program, those Obama ladies with the Obama money and his stash and all that business, those were real women. And this was in the very beginning of Imam Obama's first term during the stimulus period, and those ladies were in Detroit. And it's, by the way, it's completely real. I'm just giving you the background of what happened there. Of course, I did the editing of the interview to make it part of one of our show opens and rejoiners here. But it was in Detroit. It was around the time of the stimulus, and a rumor spread throughout Detroit that at this office downtown somewhere, they were handing out free money to people from the stimulus. And there was a line about a mile long. You would have thought it was like one of these Trump rallies. The line was so long. And that a reporter went there and interviewed them. Why are you here? To get some money. And he said, what kind of money? And they said, Obama money. And they said, where's he getting the money? From his stash. I don't know. So, I mean, it was bizarre. I mean, it's insane that is real. And that's the expectation of the Obama voter. You know, I heard today, Kathy, on, I'm not sure if it was CNN or NBC, because I'm really staying away from Fox News Channel. I'm so disgusted by the way they've treated President Trump. I'm watching Fox News as little as possible. But on, you with me, Kath?
I am.
Okay, I want to make sure. I can't remember if it was CNN or MSNBC, but they said they were talking about Hillary and Bernie Sanders in Iowa and how they'll do. And they said that 48% of Democrats in Iowa say they're socialist. And it's amazing. And that's the Democrats have been socialists since FDR, but they're out of the closet now.
Right.
They're out of the closet as socialist. And by the way, they're not really socialist, Bernie Sanders and these Democrats. They're communists. But they even among the liberals, mainstream liberals won't accept someone calling themselves a communist because the way we've been brought up in this country. So they have to say they're socialist, not communist. And I mean that's a scary thought. It really is that they're this is the deal. Okay, this is the way I always explain it to people. Elton John is gay. I mean, he's as gay gets. I think Elton John, but he was not always out of the closet. And I saw an interview with Elton John back in the days of the Phil Donahue show. Remember? I mean, that's how long ago this was. Phil Donahue was on TV and was popular, and Phil Donahue asked Elton John about his sexuality, and Elton John said he was bisexual. Well, Elton John was never bisexual, you know what I mean? But he wasn't. This was before AIDS and all this business. He wasn't comfortable coming out and saying he was gay, so he said he was bisexual. It was an easier way, and eventually he came out and said he's gay. But at the time, he kind of came out slowly. Well, that's how these Democrats are with their communism. Bernie Sanders is a communist, and the Democrats are communist. But they like Elton John saying he's bisexual, they can't get themselves to say that yet. So they say that they're socialist. You know what I mean? But they make no mistake about it. They're communist. And they want everything for free. They think anyone who has 10 cents more in their pocket than they have, that they deserve that 10 cents for some reason. They think people – I mean, all of these Democrats that are running around – talking about health care for all, for free, and free college education and all of these things. First off, if a college education is free for everyone, what is the education worth? It's college isn't high school. It's something that people work towards and earn. And part of earning it is having to pay at least part of it yourself so that you have something invested in your own education. If you give it to everyone for free, a college degree is like a high school diploma, and a high school diploma.
Well, and you're creating a society of people who don't work for anything. You're creating a society that's completely dependent on the government, that doesn't work for anything, is given everything. Right. There's no motivation. I don't think it's a good thing. It's not what America was built on. It's not what we stand for. I just don't agree with it.
College should not be free for everyone. I'm not saying that people shouldn't earn scholarships and there shouldn't be financial aid and student loans, I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying making it free. Like the reason there was a time when having a high school diploma was like, wow, he's a high school graduate, because not everybody graduated high school. I had a great grandfather that didn't make it through 8th grade. Okay, I mean that's the way it used to be, and people that had a high school education could read and do some math. Wow, now a high school diploma isn't worth anything, and the reason it's not worth anything is because everyone gets it for free. And so that's what they'll do to college if they give it to everyone for free. It'll be worth nothing, and that's the way it is. And but so free college education, free health insurance, free this, free that. Nothing is free. People have to pay for it who work for a living. People like me, People like
somebody has to pay for it. Nothing is free. That's what people don't understand is they think it's free, but it's not free for everybody. Somebody ends up having to pay double what they would normally pay, so somebody else doesn't have to work for it, and it's not right.
Well, listen, the government getting involved in college is why college is so expensive today.
Yeah.
I went to college as an adult. Okay, I went to college while Kathy and I were married, and we paid for it. And I didn't go full time; I went part time. We paid for it, and I remember at the beginning of a semester when I would have to buy my books, it would be $500 or more sometimes.
It's ridiculous.
Like some of my classes I had 5 books in, so sometimes it was around $700 just for books. And the reason that college tuition is high today, and the reason that college textbooks are high in price today, is because the government got involved in student loans and grants and things and paying for colleges, helping people pay for college. And once the government got involved with paying for college as opposed to people paying for it out of their own pocket, that's when schools started raising tuitions and then have this scam going with the books that make the college books so expensive because the government got into the funding of education. And don't take my word for it. Go talk to Bill Bennett, who was the Secretary of Education under President Reagan. He talks about this all the time. That's why when people were paying for school out of their own pocket, everybody, tuition.
Well, Brian, that's the same with medical issues, with hospitals and with doctors, because people now have Medicare and Medicaid. I was in the hospital last year. I had my thyroid removed, and I was in the hospital 5 days because I am a high risk, so I was in intensive care for 3 days. And the nurse was determined to get me out of bed. I was in a lot of pain and very weak, but she wanted to get me in the chair. So she had PT, which is physical therapy, come to the room, and all he did was take me out of the bed. He put me in the chair, and he left. No joke. He didn't even put me back in bed. And I got the hospital bill. It was $1,100 that he charged.
Just to get you from the bed to the chair.
Just to get me from the bed to the chair. And this is because people are on Medicare, people have insurance, and the hospitals charge ridiculous amounts. It's insane. Now, I'm sure the insurance, pays less than that, but I thought this is insane. I mean, I can't believe I was charged $11. I mean, if somebody doesn't have insurance, it's $1,100 for a guy to take me out of the bed, sit me in a chair, and leave the room and never come back. I thought that was crazy.
Yeah, and the reason the physical therapist charges $1,100 is because government got involved in insurance.
Because they can.
I mean, it's anything the government gets involved in,
or any insurance,
really,
the whole system's broken.
Exactly. Anything that the government gets involved in, college, education, funding of education, health insurance, anything they get involved in, they screw it up.
Because it's like a blank check.
They don't make it better.
It's like a blank check they have.
That's right. That's right. Well, listen, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, there's more to share. We got a lot of these big mouths, liberals in the chat room, and and I told you, watching us on Periscope, you are welcome to call us live on the air. We will take your call, and I love to talk to people who disagree with me. And if you're watching on Periscope, the number's right there in the description of the show, okay? The call-in number is 347-945-5112. 347-945-5112. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. We'll be right back.
Nearly every weekend, there's a new way to be active in our world. From the traditional 5K to marathons to the increasingly popular mud and color runs, the natural problem becomes where to put your personal items while you are being active. The iWorkout Belt from Squat Sponge solves that problem. The iWorkout Belt is designed for the active person. The iWorkout Belt is lightweight and it's only 6 millimeters thick, but it's roomy enough to hold your cell phone, keys, and your ID. The iWorkout Belt is available now in the Squat Sponge Amazon store. Just go to Amazon.com and search Squat Sponge iWorkout Exercise Belt. Also available online at SquatSponge.com. The Squat Sponge iWorkout Exercise Belt. Available on Amazon and SquatSponge.com. Order yours today. You have heard the Obamacare horror stories. Hardworking Americans like you paying hundreds of dollars a month for health insurance that has deductibles in the tens of thousands of dollars. And they have to reach those high deductibles before the insurance company pays $1 of their health care cost. That's not insurance. People are paying because they think they have to, are afraid they will be breaking the law if they don't, and want to avoid those huge and outrageous fines for not buying health insurance. The government wants you to think you have no choice, but you do have a choice. You don't have to pay those outrageous tax fines. You can say no to health insurance and not face government penalties. Learn how at StopObamacareTaxNow.com. That's right, you can opt out of the Affordable Care Act. When you visit StopObamacareTaxNow.com, you will have access to a free file and video that will explain everything to you. Just say no to Obamacare at StopObamacareTaxNow.com. If you drive, no matter how good of a driver you are, at some point you will need roadside assistance. And when you do, you want to be a member of MCAtoday.com. That's the number 2, MCAtoday.com. MCAtoday.com provides unlimited roadside assistance calls, which includes battery boosting, fuel delivery for when you run out of gas, tire changing, lockout service, towing, and much more. Your membership also includes discounts on vision care, dental, and prescriptions. You also have the added benefit of discounts on car rentals and hotels. There's accidental death insurance, attorney fee assistance to help you fight those traffic tickets, daily hospital coverage up to 365 consecutive days, trip planning, travel reservations. There's even a stolen vehicle reward and so much more. MCAtoday.com is the roadside assistance club that has it all. They also offer a great way to start your own business and make serious money signing up other members. So check it out today. MCAtoday.com. That's the number 2. MCAtoday.com.
My name is Ronald Reagan. This station daily pierces the Iron Curtain with the truth, answering the lies of the Kremlin and bringing a message of hope to millions trapped behind the Iron Curtain. Grateful letters from listeners smuggled past the secret police express thanks for identifying communist quislings and informers by name.
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida.
Barack Obama ain't taking my shotgun. I got 2. If he tries to fool with my Beretta, he's got a problem.
Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy.
The zombie has no will of his own. You see them sometimes, walking around blindly with dead eyes, following orders, not knowing what they do, not caring. You mean like Democrats?
You can follow Brian on Twitter and Facebook and listen to archived shows at briancraigshow.com.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
You can follow Brian on Twitter and Facebook and listen to archived shows at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian Craig.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. You can follow us on Periscope and Twitter at Brian Craig Show. Visit our website, briancraigshow.com, and all the places that carry the program are listed there. You can listen to all of our past episodes of the Brian Craig Show podcast on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, the TuneIn Radio app, all for free, of course. Just go to all of those apps and search for The Brian Craig Show, and all of our past episodes will pop right up. Welcome back, everyone. I just went to fill up my glass with some more water, and this isn't Flint water. This is out of our guest bathroom sink, and it tastes pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. I wouldn't want to drink that Flint stuff. That Flint water, you know what it reminds me of? That water they're drinking in Flint. I remember when I was in school, we were watching a National Geographic special on these people that lived in a village in Africa, and they were getting water out of a hole somewhere, and it was like brown. The water they drink on Survivor is better than the Flint water. I couldn't imagine, But there you go. That's who runs Flint, right? Who runs Michigan? Democrats. Liberal Democrats. So Rachel Maddow. Boys Don't Cry. Rachel Maddow. He's been upset all week long about this water situation in Flint, and it's pretty bad. I understand. I wouldn't want to drink that water either. But look at Michigan's run by a Republican. I'm talking about Flint. I'm talking about Flint and the infrastructure. I don't know who the governor of Michigan is. Anywhere you go in this country, except for Atlanta, Georgia. Anywhere you go in this country except for Atlanta, Georgia, the places that are the worst are run by Democrats. I mean, that's just the way it is. Someone said the Flint mayor didn't have anything to do with the water. This is like Hillary with Benghazi. If you're the mayor of a city and the water is brown, okay, it is up to you as the mayor to get something done about it. You know what I mean? I mean, give me a break.
Yeah, it's the mayor's job for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, I know he doesn't oversee the water plant. They have water. They elect people, but you're the mayor. You're supposed to be in charge of these things. And if you're a good mayor, you raise hell until you get the water clear, like this water I'm drinking from our guest bathroom. I mean, it's good. It's good water. It's clear. I don't mind it. My gosh, anywhere you go that's run by Democrats is in the. I mean, if you think about this, when liberals talk about all the problems of our country, most every single one of the problems we have, the root cause of it is liberalism and Democrats. Somebody in the chat, they said, well, why not Bernie? Why not Bernie Sanders? Are you kidding me? Here's the thing, okay? The biggest problem, even Bernie Sanders is talking about the biggest problem we have is the economy, right? He's talking about economic issues all the time when he talks to all of his 420 potheads, Occupy Wall Street, communist, brain-dead liberals that are going to his rallies. He's talking about the economy. Bernie Sanders is dirt poor. He has no money. He really isn't. I mean, he's like a lower middle-class guy. I mean, he makes a good living being in the Senate, but he has nothing. He has no net worth, nothing. You're going to take someone who has nothing, never had a damn thing, and he's going to fix the economy? Bernie Sanders doesn't even know how to fix his own personal economy. So if the economy, I talked about this a lot. Tony Robbins. I'm a big fan of Tony Robbins. And I've read a couple of his books. It makes a lot of sense. And Tony Robbins, the motivational speaker, to sum up Tony Robbins, what Tony Robbins says in a couple of sentences in all of his books is if you want to be successful at something, find someone else who is very successful at doing what you want to be successful at and model yourself after them.
Right.
So Bernie Sanders is not, I'm not rich. I'm not saying someone's a loser for not being wealthy. But if the economy is the biggest problem we're facing, you want Donald Trump. Donald Trump, he's had a couple of companies go bankrupt, and boom, he built them back up. And built
Bernie
his money
Sanders
back.
has come out and said, like somebody said in the chat, that he wants to raise taxes, and he wants to raise our taxes so he can give more free stuff to people who refuse to work. When you do that, you have to have people have to have an incentive to work, and when when you give them everything for free, they figure, well, why the hell should I work? I'm getting everything for free. If I work, I'm going to have to actually get out of bed and work for it. And there's a lot of lazy people in this country. Now, there are people that do need help. I understand that. But the problem is the people that take advantage of the system and take advantage of the help ruin it for everybody else. And
that's right.
And there are a lot of people that are very lazy, and there are women who keep having children so they don't ever have to go to work. We know somebody who, and she's white. She lives in a mobile home park, not to stereotype, but she does. And she has like 3 kids. She's my age, in her 40s. And she has lived off welfare, and she has 3 kids by 3 different guys. And this is how she earns a living and how she, and I just saw her at Target. She's like 43 and she's got a new baby. I mean, these women just keep having babies so they can keep living off the government. They never have to get a job. She does not work. She's never worked. They know how to play the system. And Bernie just wants to raise taxes on everybody and give more free stuff for people. But you have to have an incentive to work. That's what America was built on, was people actually, coming to this country, wanting to work hard, wanting to achieve something and work for something. And when you give away everything, there's no incentive anymore. And that's not what America's all about. And I don't understand why that is changing, why everybody's ideology is changing. When it comes to that kind of, but it's too bad.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Bernie Sanders, when I was talking about how Tony Robbins says, find someone successful and model yourself after them. Donald Trump knows how to make money and knows how to get rich, which means he knows how to help others do it. If I want to learn how to be poor, I'll listen to Bernie Sanders, because Bernie Sanders knows how to be poor. And basically he's a welfare guy. He's in Congress, right? He's a senator. He gets a government check. If he didn't have that government check, he'd have nothing. So what the hell does Bernie Sanders know about any of this stuff? Someone in the chat room says, why do you forgive Trump for his failures but not Hillary for Benghazi? Trump doesn't have failures. A company going bankrupt is not a failure of an individual.
And I don't remember Trump getting anybody killed either.
Well, exactly.
Benghazi is more than a failure. She purposely. Benghazi was not a failure. She had an opportunity to help those people, and Obama did too, and they chose not to help those people. They knew exactly what they were doing, and those people were murdered because of it. It was not an accident or a mistake.
That's right.
It was
Hillary
a calculated
Clinton,
decision.
Go tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday. Go to the movies, you liberals out there, and go see 13 Hours, the Benghazi movie.
Yeah, Trump is a failure with his $10 billion. I'd like to be that kind of a failure. Give me a break.
Hillary Clinton and Imam Obama made a decision to let Americans get killed for whatever reason, okay? But they made a decision to let Americans be killed in Benghazi, and they watched it on the high-definition live video stream from the drone that was flying overhead, watching the whole thing like some kind of snuff movie somewhere, these people. Donald Trump never did anything like this. She is an incompetent, and she's cold-hearted. She gets pissed off if people talk to her about all of that. She gets pissed off. How dare you? I'm trying to be president. What are you bringing this up for? Are you kidding me? So she's like the mayor of Flint, who lets his people drink dirty water because he's not in charge of the water treatment plant.
Or Mayor Nagin with Katrina. They just don't care. Once you put them in, and there's Republican politicians like this too. Once you put them in power, they don't give a damn. All they care about is being in power and having all the perks that go with it. They don't care about you or me. That's how politicians are. They're all like that. That's why Trump is so popular, because people see him, whether you like him or not. They do see him as somebody who will get things done and somebody who actually will do something once he's in office, somebody that's not going to be on vacation every 5 minutes. I get the feeling Trump is the kind of guy who loves challenges, loves to take on new tasks, and would really, really enjoy He doesn't do it for the power. He has power. The guy has power.
Yeah.
He has money.
Right.
He's not doing it for that. He's doing it to fix things and because he really has a passion for the country, whether you agree with him or not. I mean, that's the feeling
That's
I
right.
get.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I when Donald Trump gets sworn in as the president of the United States next January, he will probably be the most competent person ever to hold the office. I mean, if you go back and you look at these past presidents, very few of them have a background like his. You know, most of them are lifelong politicians. Some of them were generals here and there and used the fame of a generalship to make their way into office. But very few presidents, certainly the modern ones, had any bit of competence. You know, and even these other Republicans up there. You know, I was talking to someone on the radio yesterday who's a Marco Rubio supporter, and I asked them the same question about Marco Rubio that I asked Hillary supporters about Hillary, or it could be even Bernie Sanders people. The same question: what job has Marco Rubio ever had? You know, I mean, Marco Rubio went to college, went to law school, and immediately ran for office. And here in Florida, where we live, he was in our state government, you know, for a while. Then he's in the guy has never had a job in the real world. And you know, I watch Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz. They're both my age. You know, I'm 44 years old. I think Ted Cruz might be 45, and Rubio's
40. He's 40.
44.
He's my age. He was born the same year as me.
Yeah. They're this, and you know, at the age of 44, I'm here to tell you that a 44-year-old that has never had a job is not qualified to be president of the United States. No. You know, Teddy Roosevelt.
And Brian, the job he did have, he never showed up for.
Yeah,
he did
Rubio
have a job. He was a senator,
work.
And he never went to work. He just
I
wants
don't
to
know
be
if he's
president.
running.
That's all.
I'm not sure that he's running for re-election here in Florida. I will not vote for Marco Rubio. Whoever runs, if he runs for Senate at the same, which he might, I don't know if he is or not. If he runs for the Senate, I'm going to vote for his opponent in the primary and leave it blank. I can't vote for a Democrat and leave it blank in the general election if he runs for re-election for Senate. You know, Teddy Roosevelt was younger than both of them. He was 41 when he became president, but he had been the police commissioner of New York City. He was the Secretary of the Navy. He spoke several languages, traveled the entire world, led the Rough Riders in Cuba up San Juan Hill. He had life experience and had done things. Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz have done nothing. I mean,
well,
look,
Brian,
you
know, politicians, not many people are like Teddy Roosevelt. And I'm wondering if politicians from the past were like the ones of today. Like, all of them seem to be, unless you're a governor where you actually have to do a job, these senators that run, it seems they never do anything, or the congressmen for that matter. All they do is go up to Washington and go to a lot of parties and a lot of fundraisers, and they vote occasionally.
Right.
I mean, do they ever do anything other than that, anything significant with their lives? No.
That's why it's most presidents don't come from Congress. Most of them over the years, you know, Carter, Ronald Reagan, G.W. Bush, they were governors because they have like executive experience doing things.
Yeah.
But very few presidents come from the Congress because they vote yay, nay, or present. I mean, look, we've got 2 terms of Imam Obama, who just like Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz, a lawyer who never had a job. Never had a job. Teaching college is not a real job. It's government work. And he thinks and look at what that's done. It's been a total disaster. I just said I got my insurance quote today, $6,800 deductible. I mean that's Obama. So you want to have another president who's done nothing? And let's take a break. When we get back, we'll talk a little bit about Hillary. All right?
Okay.
You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. My name is Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. You can follow us on Twitter and Periscope, where we're streaming live at Brian Craig Show. And all you Trump haters in there, feel free to give us a call live. If you're watching us on Periscope, you're listening to the show live, you can call us live on the air. Our number's in the description of the Periscope chat. It's 347-945-5112. 347-945-5112. Give us a call. Okay, we'll take a quick break and be right back.
Taking cover from the rain is essential when it all comes pouring down. While Mother Nature does whatever she likes, we can handle any storm that comes our way, and it's easier with the Jesus Is My Umbrella by Squat Sponge. Available now in the Squat Sponge Amazon store. The Jesus Is My Umbrella is sleek and stylish, measuring under 10 inches when folded down and weighing a slight 7 ounces. Available in 3 languages, English, Spanish, and Chinese, so you'll be able to express yourself. This umbrella is perfect for keeping you dry when the sky opens up. Available now at JesusIsMyUmbrella.com. Candidates, campaign managers, and activists. It's election season, and when a candidate is running for office, from the local city commission all the way to President of the United States, getting their name etched in the mind of voters is the key to victory. And the best way to do that is to cover the area with promotional materials from TheCampaignEdge.com. TheCampaignEdge.com will provide your candidate or cause with everything you need to win, from bumper stickers to magnetic car signs, buttons, tents, flags, and much more. With the help of TheCampaignEdge.com, you will have your name or slogan all over town. So when voters walk into that voting booth and look at the names and issues on the ballot, they will recognize yours right away. When you order from TheCampaignEdge.com, use the coupon code VIP and receive a 10% discount. Go to TheCampaignEdge.com and start on the road to victory. TheCampaignEdge.com. It's here, number 3 in the Planet of the Egg series, Planet of the Eggs Mummified Egg. When you read Planet of the Eggs Mummified Egg, you will find yourself in a world where eggs didn't hatch, where magic rules and evil is a constant threat. In Planet of the Eggs Mummified Egg, the eggs continue their journey in a new land filled with unexpected dangers. Follow our heroes across the desert as their powers expand and learn about the Egglanders' confrontation with the traitorous mummified egg, Loki. The Planet of the Egg series is a children's comic book series that is filled with action and humor. Order your copy of Planet of the Eggs, Mummified Egg on Amazon in Kindle format. Also like Planet of the Eggs on Facebook at facebook.com/Planet of the Eggs. Planet of the Eggs Mummified Egg. Order yours now on Amazon.
I'm back!
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida.
The great story here is this vast right-wing conspiracy that has been conspiring against my husband since the day he announced for president.
Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy.
But I want to say one thing to the American people. I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky.
You can follow Brian on Twitter and Facebook and listen to archived shows at BrianCraigShow.com.
What difference at this point does it make?
And now, Brian Craig.
I'm back!
All right, and welcome back. You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Follow us on Twitter and Periscope at Brian Craig Show. And you can watch us stream live on the air if you go to Periscope and follow us. And if you're watching on Periscope, follow us. All right, let's go to Alex. Alex, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Indiana.
Indiana,
Come on. USA.
All right. India, USA. Okay, what's on your mind?
No, what? Indiana. Okay, so I just wanted to know why you support Donald Trump.
Oh, that's great. I'll tell you why. You ready? A lot of reasons. Number one, he is going to deport the tens of millions of illegal border jumpers that are sucking off of the United States government at all levels and taking jobs away from Americans and immigrants who are legally here. That's number one. Two, he's going to build a wall that's going to stop the illegals from jumping the border. And also, this one will really upset you, the wall along the Mexican border will also slow down the illegal importation of drugs. He is going to do a lot of things that are going to create millions and millions of jobs. Those are just a couple of the reasons I'm voting for Donald Trump.
So
who do you support?
Who
do you support? Yeah.
I support Bernie Sanders.
Oh, tell me why.
Well, because
tell me why.
I, such as many other people who support Bernie Sanders, am someone who it costs a lot to go to college, right? So, and
I paid my own way through college. I did it. I paid for college out of my own pocket. I worked and went to school.
For some other people, it's harder to pay for college.
Well, no, not really. I mean, if you don't want to work for 4 years, right? If you want to sit in a dorm room and don't work and go to class 3 days a week, it might be tough. I worked and went to school at the same time. That's what I did. I worked and went to school at the same time. It took me a little longer than 4 years, but I paid for it myself. So you want free college education. Okay. Why else are you working? Free college. Okay. Why else are you supporting Bernie Sanders?
The free college education, and he is, and he would just be like the most, he's an honest candidate because unlike Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, he doesn't change his mindset on different things.
Yeah, he's honestly a communist. I mean, what, you know, you're talking, so you're voting for him because you, let me ask you, how old are you?
I'm 16.
You're 16. You in school right now? What grade are you in?
Yeah.
What grade are you in?
I'm in 11th grade.
Okay, you're the same age as my daughter. I have a daughter in 11th grade. So next year you're going to graduate high school. Without a college education, how far can someone go in life with a high school education typically?
In my opinion, I don't think that they can go too far. I mean,
not too far,
it depends
no.
on what you do.
Yeah, right. I mean, Rush Limbaugh didn't go to college. Glenn Beck didn't go to college, and they're millionaires. But, for the most part, with a high school education only, a high school diploma, you can't go very far. You know why that is? Why is a high school diploma not valuable, do you think?
Why do I think it's not valuable?
Yeah, it's not valuable. The only thing it can do is get you into college if you choose to do that. But why is a high school diploma not that valuable, do you think? I know why it is. I want to see if you know.
Because it doesn't, really have a skilled, doesn't provide you with a skilled profession that you can do after college.
The reason, okay, I was talking about this earlier in the show, but I'm going to explain this again to you, and this may not make sense to you now at the age of 16, but when you're 26, 36, or 46, this will make sense to you. There was a time when a high school education, you could go very far in life, okay? And the reason it's not very valuable today is because everyone gets a high school diploma for free. See, I was talking earlier, I had a great-grandfather who dropped out of school in the 8th grade. I remember one of my grandfathers only went to the 4th or 5th grade, and there was a time when if someone had a high school diploma, that was a big deal. Wow, he's got a high school diploma. He can do algebra. He can read. He can write. You know what I'm talking about? But now that everyone has it and it's free, it's not worth anything. Well, if college were free for everyone, in a few years, it might be many years, it might be 20 years, it might be 50 years, but at some point a college degree would be as worthless as a high school diploma if everyone had it. Why are diamonds valuable? Diamonds.
Because they're rare and priceless.
They're rare, right? So, but if everyone was given free diamonds, would they be worth anything?
Well, I mean, there's not really many diamonds in this world.
No, there's a lot of diamonds. They hoard them. I mean, same thing goes with gold. Anything that, listen, if you give something to everyone and it's free, it's worth nothing. Anyone can go to college in this country. You just have to find a way to pay for it.
If you get a higher education, if everyone would get a higher education, the country would run a lot better.
Really? If everyone went to college and had a college degree,
for free.
Who's going to stock the groceries at the grocery store if everyone's got a college degree? Who's going to wash the dishes in a restaurant? Who's going to clean the swimming pools?
The people who drop out of high school because they don't want to go to college, or the people who are looking for jobs after college.
See, this is the thing. This is the thing, Andy. You know, when I went to college, I paid for it myself. Sometimes I only took one. Sometimes I only took one class a semester. Sometimes I skipped a semester, but I got the degree. And my college degree, it's right here on the wall next to me right now, means a lot. And it means a lot because I worked for it and earned it. Part of going to college, one of the reasons that if an employer is looking at two people to hire, one has a college degree and one doesn't. Why is the person with the college degree, you think, more valuable to the prospective employer than the person without one?
Because they worked for the college degree.
Boom, they worked for it. That's right. Part of going, there's a lot of things that college is about. But one of the things college is really about that gets overlooked mostly by liberal-minded people is that someone worked hard, they earned it, and they paid for it. You know, that's part of it. They worked for that. That's why a doctor or a lawyer makes so much money, because they work so hard for so long and so many years, and they racked up debt even paying for it. You know, there's something to be said about earning it. Part of the value of the education is earning it, not having it given to you. Does any of that make sense?
Some of it makes sense, but it's not fair putting people who are in their early 20s and like more than $100,000 in debt.
Well, it depends on what you go to school for. Like I said, I went to college and I paid for it. I didn't, you know.
But that was
what you're talking about is you want to be, you know, when you go to college full time, you go to school 12 hours a week usually. Okay, 12 hours a week, 4 classes.
Work that much.
And what's that?
What if some people don't have time to work that much while they're in college?
Then you don't go to college full time. See, what people are talking about is, let me go to school 12 hours a week and then spend the rest of the week sitting on my ass, picking up chicks, having sex, getting high, and partying. That, you know, not, you know, I mean, you know, you only go to school if you go to school full time, it's 12 hours a week. The rest of the time, what are you doing? Studying a little bit, maybe. You know, so you just don't go to school full time. You get a job, and you take as many classes as you have time for and can afford. That's what you do.
Well,
but anyway, Alex, go ahead.
Wait.
What's that?
Excuse me. Well, I'm in college. I still plan on like having a job while I'm in college, but
sure.
I don't think
that's
that
good.
just having one job will pay all for the college that you have to owe.
Sure. So you could just take one class at a time, if that's all you can afford, and that college degree will be worth 10 times as much as opposed to if somebody just gave it to you. Well, Andy, think about all this stuff. I appreciate the call. All right. Okay. All right. Thanks for calling. You know, I'm a little nicer to him than I'm not gonna give him my full treatment because he's a 16-year-old kid. I mean, but you know, he's a kid. What's he? You know, the things I said to him will make sense to him when he grows up.
Maybe.
I think. What do you think, Kat? Yeah, it'll make sense.
Yeah.
It'll make sense. By the way, well, let me take a quick break, then we'll talk about Andy. All right. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast.
If you're in business, you need a website. If you don't have a website, you're not in business. In fact, your website is the lifeblood of your business. Not only is it the first impression you make with potential clients, it's also how your current customers view you. MyLaunchKits.com understands this and offers web hosting services that are fast, secure, and managed by dedicated professionals. MyLaunchKits.com is your launchpad for success and handles everything you will need for your company's website. From web web hosting and design, designing your e-commerce site, search engine optimization, web hosting for Linux, WordPress, and Windows, and much more. When you're a client of MyLaunchKits.com, you will have a free domain name, fast, reliable servers with a 99.9% uptime guarantee, 24/7 customer support with our experts who are available to assist you the moment you need them. And our services are priced to fit any company's budget. Boost your business potential with MyLaunchKits.com or call 800-264-3269. Getting a restful night's sleep is important, and stress can keep you from getting the sleep that you need. I want to tell you about an amazing new app called Nighty Night Labs. This app is a great tool that will help you with deep relaxation and stress relief so you can get a good night's sleep. With over 230 soothing sounds, Nighty Night Labs will update regularly with new sounds each month for free. Some of the sounds you will find on the Nighty Night Labs app are kittens meowing and purring, deep footsteps in the snow, early morning sprinklers in spring, summer crickets gently chirping, ocean sounds, a flag gently flapping on a warm summer day, horse footsteps on a medieval cobblestone street, rain, thunderstorms, and many, many more. Nighty Night Labs have created for you some of the most relaxing and beautiful soundscapes that will soothe your soul and your mind. You can also mix and match sounds that will play simultaneously to create your own personal relaxation journey. Nighty Night Labs understands stress and have designed this app with the assistance of real sufferers of insomnia, anxiety, fibromyalgia, depression, and those who just want to relax. The Nighty Night Labs app is available on all devices, so look for it in the Google Play Store and Apple App Store. Nighty Night Labs, NITEYNYTE, and online at nightynighlabs.com.
You send a kid to the emergency room for a treatable illness like asthma. They end up taking up a hospital bed. It costs you gave them treatment early, and they got some treatment and a breathalyzer or an inhalator.
I've now been in 57 states. I don't know what the term is in Austrian. Wheeling and dealing.
John McCain has not talked about my Muslim faith, and you're absolutely right that has not come my Christian faith.
Barack has led by example. When we took our trip to Africa and visited his home country in Kenya,
believe me, as a busy single mother, or I should say single, as a busy mother.
And let me tell you something, for the first time in my adult life, I am proud of my country.
Give me a break. If asking a billionaire to pay the same tax rate as a janitor makes me a warrior for the working class, I wear that with a badge of honor. I have no problem with that.
And this isn't about politics at the moment. This has to do with what can we get done right now.
Oh boy, yeah, that's our brilliant Nobel Prize winning president, Imam Obama. Welcome to the program. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. Welcome back, everyone. All right, Kathy, let's take some more calls here, okay? Let's travel to Orlando. I'm sorry, I forgot your first name, Orlando.
Raphael.
Raphael, what's up?
Yeah. So I was calling because I hear you, man. There's a lot of problems with the economy. Obviously, the welfare system is corrupt, and a lot of people take advantage of it. And I can't lie and say that Trump doesn't have a lot of good points on the economy. But I was just wondering, I wanted to ask you, as a supporter of Trump, do you ever think that anything he says sounds kind of hateful or bigot or prejudiced or racist?
No. Give me an example of something racist he said, and let's talk about it.
Well, kind of like the thing about how he wants to get rid of all the Muslims. How do you?
That's not what he said.
That?
Well, but Donald Trump never said that. Donald Trump never said that. No, he didn't.
He wants to get rid of Muslims.
Donald Trump never said he wants to get rid of Muslims or all the Muslims. What Donald Trump said was that, there's a bunch of Muslim refugees from Syria that Obama wants to bring to the United States, okay? They've a lot of them have gone to Germany and been raping women all over Germany.
No.
ISIS, it's true. ISIS has said that we have some of our ISIS fighters hidden among the Syrian Muslim refugees. Donald Trump said we need to stop them from coming here until we can investigate and find out what's going on. And as an example, the 2 Muslims that committed that terrorist act in San Bernardino a couple months ago, the wife was a Muslim refugee. So Donald Trump never said anything about rounding up all the Muslims. He never said that. He said, look at this group that are trying to come here that ISIS says they've infiltrated, and make sure they're not ISIS before we let them come here. That's what Donald Trump said.
So you're saying that we shouldn't allow any Muslim. What he's saying is we shouldn't allow any Muslims in this country.
That's not what he said. He said
That's
we need
what
to.
So then
why did he?
Why did he in his rallies? Why did he think it was okay to? Have you seen that video, that Muslim woman being kicked out of the rally simply because?
As she should have been. As she should have been.
Why?
Well, I'll tell you why. If you are at a rally, okay, that a politician is having, you cannot take it upon yourself as someone in the audience to become a heckler and hijack the rally.
Oh,
if some, oh well, it's true. You just can't go and hide. If I went to a Bernie Sanders rally, and I started screaming out, "Bernie's a communist, Bernie's a communist," and I'm screaming it out and disrupting the rally, they'd kick me out too. It's not up to that woman to hijack a rally.
So how do you feel? How do you feel about his comments on Mexicans when he said that Mexico doesn't bring its best? They're sending you the rapists and the drugs.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think that there's anything racist about that? That assuming every single Mexican that comes in this country is a rapist, a murderer, and is bringing drugs? You don't see anything wrong with that?
That Donald Trump did not say. See, this is why you don't like Donald Trump. You think he said a bunch of things he didn't say. If you really listened to what he said, you wouldn't have these opinions. Donald Trump did not say all Mexicans were rapists and criminals.
He said the U.S. is becoming a dumping ground for everybody else's problem. When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending you.
Among the illegal Mexicans that come here. By the way, I've talked about this on the show many times over the years. When I was a kid, one of my friends was murdered here in Florida by 2 illegal Mexicans in Belgrade, Florida, brutally murdered, by the way. What Donald Trump said is there are murderers and rapists. There are murderers and rapists coming here illegally.
There are murderers and rapists among black people, among whites, among anyone.
That's right. Yeah, sure. But every time, every time an illegal commits a rape or a murder, that's a crime that shouldn't have happened because they shouldn't have been here. If our immigration laws were enforced, my friend would never have been murdered. You understand?
Oh, come on, bro. Don't use that card. Use that card. Oh,
it's true. If the immigration laws were enforced, these crimes that are committed by illegals wouldn't have happened.
So then, what?
Are you familiar? Let me ask you this.
Let's say this.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, there's white men have known to shoot up schools and shoot up movie theaters. Let's say there's a history where it's very common for white men to do that. So what are we going to do? We're not going to let them inside of the movie theaters. We're not going to let them inside of the schools.
Now there's you don't understand this. This is what you just don't understand any. Don't worry. The rest of you on hold, I'll get to you in a minute. Let me finish with Orlando here. Listen, I'm against all crime. Let me illustrate this another way. Are you familiar with Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid?
I'm not.
You never heard of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid?
No.
Oh my gosh. Really? I mean, are you born and raised in America?
I was not, man. I was brought here when I was 6 years old.
6 years? Oh, okay. Are you a dreamer?
Am I a dreamer? No, I am a legal resident of the United States.
Yeah, you're a legal resident. You didn't grow up with it. You didn't grow up with a. Hey, do you know who? Oh, okay. I'll ask him. Do you know who Che Guevara is?
No.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God! And Bernie wants to give free college to these people. Listen, in the days of the Old West in the United States, okay, in the 1800s.
God, this is fucking gross.
No, listen to what I'm going to say. I'm going to make a very good point here, okay? In the days of the Old West, when guys were robbing banks and there were gunfighters, and the law was after them, they would leave the United States on their horses and go to Mexico. Yeah. Americans, they committed crimes. Why did they go to Mexico? Why did they go to Mexico?
To run away. So they won't
That's
get
right,
caught.
because in Mexico, that's right, because nobody knew who they were. Well, in this country today, it's the opposite. If you are a rapist, a killer, or a criminal from Mexico, all you have, and you're wanted by the law, all you have to do is walk across the border into the United States, and you are whoever you say you are. You have a clean record.
But you can do that to
you make up your name.
You can go to any other country and do the same.
No, you cannot. They will deport your ass.
No, they won't. No, they won't. That's bullshit. That's complete bullshit.
That's true. Watch your mouth, please. I don't want the profanity here.
You can.
I don't want a lot of profanity.
Sir,
but here's the thing. If you went to Canada, if you went to Canada and you're illegal, they'll deport you.
Yeah. And here they'll deport you too. It's just too many of them to find in the first place.
No, they do not deport you here. Sometimes they do, but not always.
Oh my God. So
what's your country of origin?
My country of origin is Dominican Republic.
Okay. All right. So if I decided today, you really think if I decided today to pack up my life and just take a boat to the Dominican Republic from Florida, I could and not have any papers or documentation. I could just start a whole life and put my kids in school in the Dominican Republic.
Haitians do it all the time. It's a neighboring country.
They wouldn't let me do it.
Haitians
they
go
wouldn't let me
over all the time.
See, this is the thing you don't understand. People do not have a right to come to America. People don't have a right to come to America.
Why don't they? Why?
Because they just don't.
So why do you? Just because you were lucky enough to be born in this great country, why doesn't someone else get to have that opportunity? Tell me, what makes you any better than the next person?
You can come here through a. You can come here, Raphael, through a legal process, but you just can't wake up one morning and Belize and decide I'm going to walk to America and set up a life there. It's just not the way it works.
Well, guess what? I did.
Also, you came here illegally then?
My parents came here illegally.
That's great.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, God damn it. I'm going to go kill everyone now.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
I didn't say all illegals are criminals, and Donald Trump never said that either. But if I am a criminal in Mexico, what better place to come than America and start all over?
But my opinion is that you can go to any other country and start all over, and all you're doing is running away from the country that's trying to look for you. It's easy to disguise yourself in any other country.
I'm going to move on to some other callers, but thanks for the call.
That's fine.
Right?
Thank you for your time, man. I appreciate it.
Right, thank you. Yeah. Adios. Yes. All right, let's take another call here. Hello there. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello? Once, twice. Okay. I guess he chickened out. He hears all this logical arguing here, and he just can't do it. Hello, you're on the air. Yes, hello.
I'm on the air. Hello,
you're on the air,
Brian.
yes.
First of all, I'd like to say that I'm a big fan of your broadcast today.
Yes, this is Alex that I was just talking to, the 16-year-old high school kid.
No, it is
What's
not.
your name now? Okay,
Nicholas.
Go ahead. Nicholas.
So, I was just wondering how you're doing today.
What'd you say?
So why Donald Trump? Why not? Let's just look at the Republican playing field. Why not Rand Paul or I know Rand Paul is a libertarian, excuse me. Why not like Ted Cruz or Marco Rubio?
Okay,
why Donald Trump?
Okay, I'll go through all of them. Ted Cruz, because he's Canadian. He cannot be the president of the United States.
Oh, yeah,
he's Canadian.
I see. That's a good argument.
Okay, that's a problem. He was a Canadian citizen until a year and a half ago, so he's not eligible. Rand Paul is not electable. He doesn't have enough popular support, so he couldn't win the election.
All right.
Marco Rubio, not only is he too inexperienced, Marco Rubio has a lot of corruption to deal with involving the misuse of a Republican Party credit card to pay for a lot of things. He has a lot of corruption with him.
Okay.
He would not win a national election either. That's why.
So why is there such a huge divide between the Democrats and the Republicans? Why can't we just work together? Because your Periscope and the comments in it have really definitely like strengthened the argument that we're a divided nation, even though we should be working together.
Republicans and Democrats, there's a reason why Republicans and Democrats can't work together. It's because Democrats want a bunch of free stuff, right? Isn't that what Bernie Sanders is saying? Free health care, free college, free this.
He's just trying to help the people who aren't as better off as the people who are the part of the 1%.
Exactly. If someone has a free anything, an Obama phone, a free college education, where does the money come from to pay for the thing that you would get for free?
That money comes from the people who earn over $10 million a year.
No, it does not. It comes from people who work and pay taxes, and not and regular working people.
How much do these people that work and pay taxes earn?
Different amounts of money. Some of them make $15,000 a year. Some of them make $15 million a year.
Exactly. Every single person pays taxes. It's just more fair to have it increase as
not
your
everybody pays taxes.
Income increases.
No. Not everyone pays taxes. There's a lot. The people that get the free Obama phones, they don't pay taxes. They suck away.
Can you explain Obama phones?
Obama phones, yes. Obama phones.
Are these like
free
Go
cell
phones
phones.
or something?
Poor people can get free cell phones that are paid for by the government.
All right.
We call those Obama phones. Mhm.
Okay. Can we talk a little bit about?
You want me to tell you where so you can go get
on
one? Enough. All right. We're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, there's more to share. All right. You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We'll be right back after this.
You hear a sudden crash in the kitchen. Someone has broken into your home. He's armed and ready to kill. Will you be able to protect your family? Learn how to do just that in the new book, Navy SEAL Shooting, from best-selling author Chris Sinog. Chris Sinog is a retired Navy SEAL and creator of the U.S. Navy SEAL Sniper Training Program, and he has trained hundreds of U.S. Navy SEALs. In his new book, Navy SEAL Shooting, Chris will share his training and skills with those of us who need to protect our families from domestic criminals. With Navy SEAL Shooting, you will learn to shoot safely and effectively at home. Most violent crimes happen at night. Being a good shot on a well-lit range isn't going to prepare you for home protection. In Navy SEAL Shooting, you will learn to master your weapon and protect your family. Learn the 4 P's of surviving a violent encounter, the right grip technique, how to deal with equipment malfunctions, and so much more. Get your copy of Navy SEAL Shooting from best-selling author and retired Navy SEAL Chris Sinog on Amazon and at NavySealShooting.com. Are you interested in real estate? Maybe you're a flipper, an agent, or buyer. Whatever your interest, you have to check out the YouTube channel I Love Real Estate Stories. Andy McFarland, he's the host. Andy is a full-time wholesaler, flipper, and landlord out of Salt Lake City. His brother Jason McFarland is a real estate investor and documentary filmmaker. The two of them have put together this awesome YouTube channel for anyone looking to make money in real estate. Their goal is to provide inspiration and education to those interested in real estate. In fact, everyone, even if you're not involved in real estate, will love I Love Real Estate Stories on YouTube. It is incredibly entertaining. Andy, he's a real estate pro who will give you lots of great information. When you watch I Love Real Estate Stories, you will learn how to improve your real estate business, how to get more deals, and learn how to do more for your clients, which means more deals and more money for you. Simply visit youtube.com/users/I Love RE Stories. youtube.com/user/I Love RE Stories. Andy uploads new videos every week, so make sure you watch and subscribe. youtube.com/user/I Love RE Stories for the I Love Real Estate Stories YouTube channel.
And Obama's, Bin Laden's attempt,
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida.
He needs to go wherever Obama Bin Laden is hiding.
Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy.
But even Obama Bin Laden,
I don't think it's wise to sit down with Obama Bin Laden.
You can follow Brian on Twitter and Facebook and listen to archived shows at briancraigshow.com.
Why don't we just ask Osama Bin Laden, Obama, what is...
And Obama Bin Laden is still at large. I think that was Osama Bin Laden.
And now, Brian Craig.
All right, we are back. You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. And, that rejoin there with all the people calling Obama, Osama, those are all real people. One of them was Ted Kennedy. One of them was Joy Behar from The View. And, so it's all real. It's all real. It's kind of hard to believe. So, Kathy, you back with us?
I am.
Okay. Now our daughter, Emily, has come in here, and I didn't want her to come here. She heard me talking to the 16-year-old kid. You wanted to come in. Here now, but don't get on camera. I don't want these people to see you because they're a bunch of creeps. But what did you want to? You wanted to take issue with me about something with Donald Trump? Well, what do you want? Go ahead.
I don't have anything to fight you about.
Oh, okay. I don't know. You came in and said
you just said you didn't want to argue with me.
I'll argue with you. That's okay.
Fight me.
Okay, all right. Well, if you've got something to contribute, just chime on in. All right.
Okay.
All right, Kath. Let's take another call here, Kath, and feel free to participate with these calls. Hello, caller. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Are you talking to me?
Sounds like you.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is Bob from Brooklyn.
Bob from Brooklyn. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
We're great. What's on your mind?
Hey, listen, I'm a recent Trump convert, and
great.
It's thanks a lot to your show. I used to hate you and Steve for the last couple of months.
Oh, you listened to me on the radio.
It just seemed like such vitriol and such lies, and I was a Cruz and Rubio supporter, but little by little, you guys started like getting under my skin, and I started researching a lot of this stuff. And I tell you, when Trump didn't show up, and Cruz and Rubio and the rest of those guys, they didn't do anything to him. They just wimped out like the rest of the Congress did. I said, that's it.
Right.
I'm done with these guys. I'm going to Trump.
That's right. Yeah, that's great. So actually, Trump not going to the debate brought you over to the Trump team. That's wonderful.
Well, yeah, that was part of it, but the fact that the other guys didn't do a thing to him, they didn't attack him. This was their opportune moment to attack them, and they didn't do it. That's like, how wimpy are they?
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. No, I agree. If these Republicans steal the nomination away from Donald Trump, I'm not going to vote for them. I'm not going to vote for Ted Cruz or Jeb or Marco Rubio. I'm going to do to them what I did to Fox during the debate: boycott it and send them a message.
I don't think they can steal it.
I think his support is so strong that they won't be able to steal the nomination. And, there's some polls out there that shows Donald Trump has 25% support among black likely voters. A Republican hasn't gotten 25% of the black vote ever. Blacks couldn't vote when Lincoln was president, see. So, that's amazing.
He's going to run away with this, no doubt.
Absolutely. Well, Bob in Brooklyn,
right.
that's great. What do you think? Let me ask you, what do you think Trump's chances are of actually winning New York State in the general? He's very popular in New York.
I think he has a good chance. A lot of my friends have been trying to convince me to go Trump, and I was resisting it because I'm kind of more conservative type of guy, but you know what? They're right and you're right, and I think he's going to do it.
That's great. All right, Bob in Brooklyn, thanks for calling.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right, take care. All right, so what do you think of Donald Trump?
You know what I think of Donald Trump.
Well, tell people what you think of Donald Trump.
I don't like Donald Trump.
Why not?
He's a jerk.
Well, lots of people are jerks. I mean, but what you?
Obama's a jerk.
Oh, well, if
I
you.
guess, like, if we have like one jerk.
Well, you can't vote. You can vote. You're only 17. But you'll be 17 when the election happens.
Yeah.
Okay, I know how old my daughter is. You'll be 17 when the election happens. If you could vote, though, who would you vote for?
Okay,
well,
hey.
Not Trump.
Hillary.
That's not Trump. What do you think, Kathy?
What about what?
About Emily. She says Trump's a jerk.
Well, most kids
Someone
are.
said your dad's a jackass.
Somebody said I'm black. Yeah.
Yes, she is black. She is black. I just don't want to show her on Periscope because there's so many creeps in here. I don't want you on Periscope.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody said I'm upset that I have a daughter, not a son. Well, Emily's adopted, and we chose to have a daughter. So no, that doesn't.
You could show Emily's hair.
That's right. I could show your hair. Yeah. Take our word for it. Yeah. Take our word for it. All right. Let's take another call from the 419, wherever that is. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Name's James.
Hello.
Sorry, because I was going to be on the phone here.
James. Where are you calling from, James?
Northern tip of Ohio, the Great Lakes, fresh water.
Oh, I'm from Columbus, Ohio. Columbus, Ohio is my hometown, even though I'm in Florida now.
There you go. I work out of Pickerington. So.
Okay. What's on your mind?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to
What's
talk
on your
about
mind?
the
You
whole
called
Trump. I wanted to talk about the whole Trump situation. Either way, whoever gets elected, we're screwed. I'm 21 years old, and there's nothing that can be done anymore. It's over, and I don't mean to be a fear monger, but the other person that you just had on the line was saying that Trump's a bad man or whatever. That's how people think. They do not think critically anymore. They think on the lines of what's popular. What can get me more likes on Facebook? What can get me more retweets on Twitter? The entire moral
I'll tell you,
fabric
when we talk to people like, well, fortunately, Alex I talked to earlier is like my daughter, not old enough to vote. So fortunately, he can't vote. But
but that's coming down the pipe, though. You have to.
No.
Not just a Trump supporter.
No, see, here's.
We need the voices all of America.
No, we do not. See, there was a reason why throughout a large part of American history that to vote you had to take a test, or to vote you had to be worth a certain amount of money. There was a reason for that. And I mean, I was just talking to a voter who never heard of Butch Cassidy of the Sundance Kid. I mean, my God, how can you vote him? And then I asked him, I thought for sure he would know who Che Guevara is, being a Bernie Sanders supporter.
Well, they can't even recite the Pledge of Allegiance of the United States. They can't even.
I didn't even ask. I should have asked him how many states there were. He probably would have blown that too.
You should.
So if someone is that uninformed, how can they go and make an educated vote? You know, and
it's not an educated vote. It's a gut instinct vote.
Well, my daughter's going to chime in here. Hold on, Ohio. My daughter's going to chime in about the uneducated voters.
I agree with that, but when you try to restrict voting like that, you run into the problem that what was America's founding principle of everybody has the right
No, that's not true. When America was founded, women couldn't vote, blacks couldn't vote.
I know, but like we kind of fixed that. But I mean, like the founding fathers, like they wanted like everybody to like be able to express their voice, and like when you say that when you say like that was like the purpose of America, even though it was kind of only white men. And, like,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, listen.
Well, I think the most important thing is people our age, like your daughter, we need to stand up and educate the people around us. That is our mission.
That's right.
That is
to
our
be
mission,
able
to go ahead and educate people.
That's right. To be able to vote, you need to be you need to have a certain level of intelligence. When I say educated, I don't mean someone needs to have a college degree to vote. But if you don't have a basic knowledge, how can you have an educated vote? And so far as you hear a lot of times you had to be a property owner to vote. You had to be, and by the way, that didn't mean own slaves, because most people didn't own slaves. You had to have a certain net worth. I don't know what it was offhand. And the reason the founding fathers said that to vote you had to have a certain net worth is because they understood that if everyone could vote, that eventually the have-nots would vote to redistribute the wealth of the haves to them. And look at this.
And that is what's happening.
I want free college. I want free health care. And that's what's happening now. So, I mean, so that's why. I couldn't agree with you more. And
you know what? We as young people, we need to go ahead and educate people around us. I know it's not trendy to go ahead and bring up political issues or even the 7,280 babies that are African American being aborted a day. I know it's not trendy, but we have to bring up these issues.
Let's think about it. Now, those of you that listen to me all the time have heard this, but to the new people, I'm going to tell you a couple things. Every lynching that took place after the Civil War through Jim Crow and the Civil Rights Movement, every lynching was committed by Democrats. Democrats were the Klan. Democrats did all the lynching. That's a fact.
You are so right.
Number two. See, I'm glad I left Ohio, but there's some wise people behind, so that's great. The second thing is this. Okay. No, this is true. This is true. All the Klan, the Ku Klux Klan, was the original Democrat community activist organization. Before Black Lives Matter and all that crap, there was the Klan, the original Democrat community activist organization. That's a fact. I mean, that's just the way of it. And this movie Selma, that was a big deal a couple years ago at the Oscars, right? What they didn't tell you in Selma was this: the blacks that were walking across that bridge, that were getting their heads bashed in by those Democrats, by the way, that were never identified as Democrats in the movie, they were walking across the bridge to vote for Republicans. Martin Luther King was leading them to vote Republican. That's not in the movie, right? That's not in the movie. So, if you want the party of freedom and liberty, it's the Republican Party. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Well, I say we go back to our foundation where our first president wasn't Democrat or Republican.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, well, hey, listen, I appreciate the call, all right? All right, thanks for calling. I appreciate it. Up in Ohio. Make sure you follow me, by the way, on Periscope. You watching on Periscope?
Well, I'm actually calling in. I'm up at Kelly's Island.
Kelly's Island, okay. Well, all right.
So.
Well, all right. Well, appreciate your call. Thanks for calling. So what do you think, Emily? You think people should have to be a little informed before they can vote?
Yeah. But I want to address something else. Like, as I've been listening, I've heard two callers say that they want to, why can't we just have, no political parties, and why can't we all just get along? And I thought that for a while, too, and I thought, well, this is all so stupid. Why do we have Democrats versus Republicans? Why can't we just all have, just one party where we all, agree? And, and then I realized, that's communism.
Well, people don't agree. I mean, we don't even agree on everything.
Yeah,
people are never
communism.
That's right.
And, it took me, I didn't even, think of it like that until, I thought about it a little more. And I was like, wow, that is communism. And, you need a balance. Democrats and Republicans, the balance they create in this country is what, allows this country to keep going.
Oops, I lost my stand for that.
So.
My stand back there. No, you're right. There's some truth to
that. So, when people say that, I know it seems like a really good idea to, not have, like to not have political parties and to just have everybody like get along. But like without this conflict, you can't really have a truly Republican country.
What do you think about people voting for free stuff? Because we're talking to these people that want all this free stuff tonight. Free college, free everything. What do you think about that?
Well, definitely not free college.
Yeah, right. That's right.
But like, I think free stuff is good if you put a limit on it.
Yeah.
Like you can't just get like endless free stuff. You should only be able to get like some free stuff to help you get out of the position where you need free stuff.
Yeah.
So like with like phones, I mean, I don't really think phones are like a necessity.
What do you think about all these illegal border jumpers from South America, Mexico, South America that just think they can come here and just set up a life?
That's just not good. Like I'm all for immigration, and like I know how hard it is to immigrate into other countries. Like you can't really like just walk into England and be like, I want to live here now. Like you can't do that. Like America shouldn't let everybody in. Like I know morally,
I'm hitting the desk with my iPad.
Like I know morally it seems like the best do, but like if I think as a country and as a people we should put ourselves first before we try to help other people. And I think putting more of our country's money into helping foreign countries and foreign affairs rather than like trying to support all the illegal immigrants that come into our country is a much better idea. Yeah. Because they just having a bunch of people living off the country and not even like paying taxes and being here is a drain on our resources. And I think it'd be better to devote our resources to helping other countries like Mexico rather than just letting a bunch of immigrants come in here.
That's right. That's right. See, we don't agree on everything. I don't brainwash Emily. She has her own mind. And there went my iPad again. But you know what? We're gonna take a break. And during the break, I'll fix the iPad. You're listening to The Brian Craig Show. We'll be right back.
Are you ready for a life-changing experience? Have you wanted to become an entrepreneur but didn't know where to begin? Then the Entrepreneur Power Hour is for you. The Entrepreneur Power Hour is live every Saturday and hosted by Kareem Mays and Chris Peters. All different types of entrepreneurs are welcome. Maybe you have an online business, are involved in multi-level marketing. Perhaps you have a successful brick-and-mortar business. You will benefit from the open discussion on the Entrepreneur Power Hour. The purpose of the Entrepreneur Power Hour is to unite the world's entrepreneurs to help each other inspire hearts and minds. So check it out today, TheEntrepreneurPowerHour.com. TheEntrepreneurPowerHour.com, uniting the world's entrepreneurs. If you have hearing problems, you know how precious hearing is. Wouldn't it be great to hear everything people are saying to you? If you could hear music again and not have to turn the television up louder than it needs to be. Having the right equipment makes all the difference. The Savings Mart is your one-stop shop for hearing amplifiers. The Savings Mart carry the quality brands Medka and New Ear amplifiers for seriously discounted prices. Just go to Google and search for The Savings Mart. That's all one word. The Savings Mart. When you own a business, you want to keep your employee turnover rate low. But if you're losing your best employees, you want to find out what happened. Hiring new employees takes time and money. You want to keep your employees happy so they stay with you. Exit interviews are an important part of determining why employees leave. But letting your HR department do these exit interviews usually is a bad idea, since your staff may not be completely open and honest. At ProfExit.com, they do all that work for you. This way, you can get open and honest feedback so you can make informed, positive changes to prevent any further HR issues. Whether you fire an employee or they leave on their own, you need to know the how and the why. Having interviews conducted by a neutral third party is key to get to the heart of the matter. Let ProfExit.com help you. ProfExit.com. ProfExit.com.
Rock, explain to me this healthcare debate. You're trying to make sure everybody has healthcare, and they're putting a Hitler mustache on you. That doesn't make sense to me. Explain that to me.
I love President Obama. Yes, I do. I love President Obama. And guess what? I voted for him. Do you want to know why I voted for him? Do you want to know why? Because he's black. He black. Yes, I said it. I said it again. I voted for him because he was black. I'm going to get me some health care. Showed up is Show them. I don't know why you looking at me. You need to be at work so you can pay for my health care. I love it. I love it. I love it. I-L-O-V-E-I-T. Yes, I do. I'm getting health care. I ain't got no job.
That's nice. Isn't that great? I love it. All right, welcome back. I'm Brian, listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. Always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Welcome, Kathy. You're sitting there, the sound of silence with you there. You with us? I went out and got these new speakers and set up so people could hear you, and you're like mute.
Well, there's other people talking, so I don't want too many voices. That gets confusing.
I know. I mean, you know, by the way, that one kid, he said his parents brought him here illegally. I wonder if I tell you, it's amazing that people just think they can just walk over here and just get everything and just be here. I can't go to Mexico and set up shop. You just can't do that.
No.
You just can't do that. You know, and by the way, what do you think about all the we talked about this, the illegals, you know, the liberals have successfully, unfortunately, won this fight to give driver's licenses to illegals. And the reason they've done that is so they can vote. So, you know, because all you need to register to vote is a driver's license. And, you know, in a lot of these states like California and many of these states out west, we have so many Mexican nationals and Colombian nationals and all these other people voting in our elections because the Democrats gave them driver's license. This is insane what's going on.
Well, this is why Donald Trump is so popular, because Republicans, the Republican voter, is sick and tired of Republican politicians letting all this crap happen, and they're doing nothing to stop it. And they're fed up. They're just absolutely fed up. And I've heard many, many people. See, when you go on these news shows, you only see talking heads talking about Trump. You rarely see them interview people, because when they interview people on the street, you're going to hear the truth, and the news they don't want you to hear that. Maybe they have interviewed people and they just won't show it, but you know, I was watching C-SPAN after, and a lot of people were talking about this, after the debate, after Trump's event, C-SPAN was taking live calls. And I don't know if they have a screener or anything, but I listened for about an hour. Every single call, one after the other, was somebody saying, I am voting for Trump because I am fed up with political correctness. I'm fed up with Republicans doing nothing. I'm fed up with the country going down the toilet. I'm fed up with the way everything is gone and nobody is doing anything to stop it. People are just fed up, and that is why because they're like, I just see Rubio or Bush or Cruz being the part of the bigger problem. They're never going to do anything, but Trump will do something. That's how people feel.
Oh, he'll do a lot. I mean, look at these Republicans. I mean, the Republicans have run Congress for 5 years, and what's changed? They let Obama do everything he wanted, including giving Planned Parenthood $500 million every year that he's been president, including the 5 years that they've run Congress while he's been president. You know, I was talking to that last caller, and I was in Ohio, and I was telling him that all the lynchings that took place were lynchings committed by Democrats. And he had mentioned abortion. Now, it's the weekend, so there's not as many abortions on the weekend. But Monday morning, that's when the abortion clinics are open for business. I'm sure some are open on weekends. But Monday morning, when the abortion clinics of America open up, more blacks will be lynched in the wombs of their mothers than were lynched by the neck during the Jim Crow era in the South. Every day, more blacks are killed through abortion than were lynched throughout the history of lynchings. Every day that happens. I mean, it's something that people just don't think about it in these terms, but it is true. And it's a sad thing. And you know, and Republicans are trying to, you know, Black Lives Matter. You know, if Black Lives Matter was a legitimate organization, which it is not, it's an organization that's supported by MoveOn.org, which is Obama. If Black Lives Matter was really concerned with saving the lives of blacks, they would fight Planned Parenthood. They would become pro-life organizations. That's where the most black lives are lost every single day. What do you think about abortion, Emily? You have no opinion on abortion?
It's complicated.
Wow.
Like, I don't know. Like, it seems like so bad, but like, what if you're like raped or something?
Well, okay. If when it comes to rape, because people talk about rape, okay, rape is about 0.5% of all pregnancies. And what happens, and most every single time, when a woman is raped, if she doesn't go immediately, within the first week, she goes to the emergency room, goes to the doctor. They don't always go immediately, but most women who are raped go to the emergency room right away. Part of the standard treatment when a woman goes, because a rape is a hardcore crime, you know, so almost in every instance police are involved, and part of the investigation is to take the woman to the hospital so that they can not just treat her for whatever health issues might arise from being a victim of a violent attack, they also collect evidence. Part of what the standard procedure is when a woman goes to the emergency room for rape is to offer her the abortion pill. Okay, they call it the morning after pill. You can buy them over the counter these days, but they offer her the abortion pill. And most women who are raped take the pill right then and there. Okay, and most pro-life people, well, the Catholic Church would, and we're Catholic, but most people that are pro-life don't. Well, that's right. So I'm not going to stop women from doing that. I'm not opposed to that. But if you're 6 months pregnant, you've already made the choice. Yeah. You know, you've already made the choice. So so that's women that are raped typically don't wait until the 4th, 5th, 3rd, 6th month or something to have an abortion. They do it right away within the first week, usually within the first hours, right? Because they call the police, they go to the hospital, and it's done right there. You know what I mean? So even though our Catholic Church might be against that, I don't think most people are, and that's not even what's the issue. You know, I mean, abortion is one of those issues that's kind of been decided. You know, the country's pro-abortion. That's not going to change. But what the problem is that the government's funding it and giving them $500 million a year to do it, and that's just not right. Well, we're running down towards the end, Kathy. Got any other thoughts here before we end the show?
No, just that Nicholas wants to call back in, but please don't let him call back in.
Nick, he's on hold.
Nicholas can get his own show if he has so much to
Nick
say.
Is the dreamer. Listen,
Ridiculous.
Here's the rule. Because a lot of people are new to the show, and I'll explain. A lot of you are new. You don't know me. I've been a radio talk show host.
Him call. Nicholas, get your own show.
I've been a radio talk show host for over 20 years. I co-host a morning radio show Monday through Friday, and I have this podcast I do as well. The rule is this. I love to take calls from people who disagree with me. The more you disagree, the better. But the rule of thumb is 1 call per show. That's all. Just 1 call per show. I'm not trying to limit anybody, but 1 call per show. If you have people calling in a whole bunch of times, it just becomes more of them than the show. So it's 1 call per show, but we're here all the time. And if you follow me on Periscope, you'll find out when we're doing the show live just like that, okay? That's right. Well, yeah, exactly. 1 call per show, and that's it. I mean, that's. I think that's more than reasonable, okay? By the way, you can go to our website, BrianCraigShow.com. Everything is listed there about the show. But you can follow us on Periscope and Twitter at Brian Craig Show, on Facebook, Facebook.com/Brian Craig Show. And all of our past podcasts, including this one later tonight, are archived on the TuneIn Radio app, Stitcher Radio, and iTunes. So go to any of those places and search for The Brian Craig Show, and all of our past episodes will come up. But you Periscope people, follow me on Periscope, and then when we go live on the podcast, you'll get a notification on whatever device you use that we're going live, and you can call in then. The phone number is always the same, 347-945-5112. And unlike a lot of conservatives say they want to talk to liberals and don't, I love talking to people that disagree. I don't shy away from it. And you kind of one yourself. I'm not you know. But wife Kathy on Periscope, KVO Art. KVO Art is my wife Kathy's Periscope. Follow her too. We Periscope all the time. I love to, because I'm confident enough that I'm right about everything that I talk about on the air, that I can defend myself up against anyone who disagrees. So if you're a liberal, you are welcome. Someone said your poor daughter. She has her own mind. The only reason I was a little... I've had her on the air. In fact, if you go to... if you search me on YouTube, I had her on the radio with me for a couple hours taking calls. I was only a little reluctant to have her here now because I had the Periscope on, and I don't want all the creepers to have images of my child. And but she's standing... I get the countdown, 90 seconds. But she's standing off camera, so the creepers won't see her. But, yeah, follow me on Periscope. Follow me on Twitter and everyone else. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of... You have no idea. I mean, you have no idea the creepers and the hate mongers that I have to deal with. What creeps? The guy that mailed me a washcloth that he wiped his butt with, that's one of the creepers. I mean, there's all kinds of creepers out there. Yeah, we don't need to go through all of them on the air. But believe me, there's a lot of creepers and stalkers that I have. And I've only got 60 seconds, so we're going to say goodbye. But I like this new setup we have, Kathy. I think it worked out pretty good. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Okay, Kathy's getting
there's a lot of mean people in here that are very nasty, too. Tolerant liberals that are very nasty.
I don't care. Be mean, be nasty. And the reason they're mean and nasty is because they know I'm right. They know I'm right, and they can't make their case against me. You know, that's the way it is. All right, well, listen, thanks, everyone, for tuning in. You're listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy, and tonight my daughter, Emily, who does not agree with me on as much as it sounds. I mean,
I agree with you on stuff, but sometimes
you don't like Trump.
Sometimes you say stuff. So.
She once told me that we white people have had it good for long enough. That was
Brian, you should
yes.
You should keep scoping even though the show's over.
All right, I'll keep the scope going. I got a little battery life left in my iPad, but we are out of time. Thanks for listening.
Geico presents sharing versus oversharing. Earlier this week, Claire Tippins shared a princess nickname generator, 3 pictures of her dog wearing a tutu, and 2 online quizzes, including what candy is your dream castle made of? Claire, your sharing has tipped the sugar scale and turned into oversharing. But have no fear, princess. Geico has something worth sharing with your internet kingdom, like how you could save hundreds on your car insurance just by visiting geico.com. No magic wand required. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.